In earlier lessons, we looked into the view that the brain was unchanging and static, exploring what that meant for people's actual lives. We'll now examine the opposite question. What does it mean for individuals facing serious mental and emotional problems when they understand that the brain can change?
It does give people a lot of hope to see a lot of the research coming out more recently that says, well, we can grow certain areas of the brain. There's this idea of neuroplasticity, the idea that we can actually grow important areas of brain throughout the lifespan now towards a healthier brain.
What that tells us is that there's hope, that essentially you can grow the brain no matter what age you are. And if you can grow the brain, you might be able to have those new neurons connect to existing neurons so that there's stronger functioning in different parts of the brain. And that gives a lot of hope.
Those girls that I've worked with that see their brain as changeable, as pliable, as plastic, as something that is moldable, they tend to have the vision that that's their life, that they are the artist in this painting of life. They find incredible hope in their future. They don't see it as an ending point to things. They see it as a continual progression.
If you do a particular activity for some period of time, over and over again, the parts of the brain that are needed for that activity are going to get stronger, okay, are going to get healthier. In the same way that if I were a bodybuilder, right, I'm gonna work out my upper body is gonna be much stronger, but my legs might not change at all. So it's the activity that we engage in that changes those targeted areas. Same thing for the brain.
If the brain can be exercised, then what do these exercises look like? Well, for starters, studies show the brain changing with psychotherapy, with meditation, and with learning a language. All these mental exercises have been documented to rewire and develop new pathways or neuropathways in the brain. While we think of other areas of our lives as something we can shape and develop, this isn't usually how we think about the brain.
So it wouldn't surprise anybody to find that if you took somebody that wasn't very physically fit and took them to the gym for, let's say, 2 months. Every day they go to the gym for 2 months and then do a 30-minute workout. It wouldn't surprise anybody to find that after that 2-month period, the person is more fit, right? They look better, they feel better, their body mass index might have gone down, their weight might have gone down. They have all the signs of being a healthier person, especially if they weren't active before. Well, it ends up that we know that the mind is no different, that just as the brain is fragile and can be damaged, it can actually also be strengthened through active exercise, right? In the same way the body can.
The brain is constantly changing its structure based on our experiences. And if people do the work, if they keep working the muscle, as it were, of the brain, it will gradually change for the better over time.
The implications of these findings can be both startling and refreshing. When one woman facing mental disorder first learned about neuroplasticity, she responded, "Wow, that means I can do something personally to get feeling better."
Many people, particularly the general public, doesn't really appreciate the ways in which that mental activity alone, what we think, what we feel, how we guide attention, what we rest it upon, and then what we do with what we're paying attention to. They don't appreciate the ways in which that literally sculpts neural structure.
You know, if someone does have, let's say, an area of their brain that's causing obsessions and compulsions, a looping in that area, the idea that they can use their mind to learn how to relate to it differently and therefore actually change the neural pathways that things are going down is really hopeful and promising.
Another girl I was working with She struggled significantly with anxiety and especially an OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And she would have these intense obsessive thoughts, and her compulsion would be to self-harm. And she did incredible self-harm to herself in order to manage her anxiety. And when I began working with her, she had been in multiple hospitals, multiple treatment centers, seen multiple therapists. And as I began to ask her about her history, she said, I'm OCD. And I remember sitting with her and explaining neuroplasticity and this idea that the brain could change itself. And it was amazing to see as light would come into her eyes. And I remember, and it gets me a little emotional, but I remember the first time when she said, do you think that I could change like that? Do you think that I could have those drastic of changes?